Hi, Kaushik.
Hello. Andy.
Hello,
Yeah,
Nick.
hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. Because, all of a sudden ఇక్కడ rain start అయిందండి. So because of that, కొంచెం
ఓ అవునా?
network
ఇట్స్ బెటర్. చాలా ఎండలు ఉన్నాయంట కదా?
ఇక్కడ కూడా భయంకరంగా ఉన్నాయి. ఎందుకో తెలియదు సడన్ గా
అదే అక్కడే. యా.
దాంతో
అదే
కొంచెం
రెయిన్ ఉంటే
emotional.
కొంచెం బెటర్ ఉంటుంది.
అవును.
ప్రస్తుతానికి మీరు చెప్పిన వరకైతే అంత క్లియర్ గానే ఉంది. బట్ నేను ఐ విల్ గో త్రూ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వన్స్ అగైన్.
I will have
మేబీ
to upload అండి. I'll
టుమారో.
have to. Yeah. Yesterday I forgot to upload. ఇవాళ పంపించేస్తాను. నిన్నటివి కలిపి.
యా ఓకే.
So,
రేపు మొత్తం అన్ని రికార్డింగ్స్ ఒకసారి చూసుకొని నేను
ఇవాళ
టాక్
soon after the class, I'll send it to you.
యా షూర్. యా.
Can you hear me now better? Yeah, కొంచెం నా ఫ్యాన్ వాయిస్ ఎక్కువైపోయింది. I just stopped it. I will share the recordings, yesterday recording and today's, and then this stuff, whatever it is we discussed yesterday, right? The PPT and all. Okay, I have opened. I think I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen only? Hello? Can you see my screen? Hello?
యా హలో చెప్పండి.
Sorry, are you on mute or something? So I wasn't able to. So can you see my screen?
చూసుకోండి.
Okay. Okay, a quick recap is okay. So you know what is a database management system? It is a software where the data is collected and we are managing this software. And characteristics of DBMS, Sunday, did you remember anything? By any chance? What are the characteristics of DBMS? Data consistency, security, isolation, data isolation, and less redundancy, less redundant data. There will be redundant, but there will be less redundancy also. Relation and query language, right? These are the characteristics of database management system. So, what is metadata? A quick recap I'm just doing. What is metadata? Kaushik, are we good to start or shall we wait for some time?
Oh, sorry. Again. Sorry, metadata is data of data.
Right, data about data. So what are all
Data
the
about data.
columns that exist in a table, or what are all the data types, what are the constraints on the
Yeah.
data and all that we'll be talking about the metadata. Okay, it is data
Yeah,
about data. And what are all the different models? DBMS are the RDBMS models that we discussed, ER model, relational model, and dimensional model. Entity relationship model. Okay, relational model is something like, the data will be organized into the tables. This is an entity
Yeah.
but a table, entity to relationship, and then the attributes and all. Okay, and this is what relationship model. The data will be stored in the tabular format. Every row is known as a tuple, and these are all the attributes. The columns is known as an attribute, the property of the column that defines the property of the column. Okay, these are the attributes, these are the records, right? And the dimensional model, I think we discussed, there is a fact and dimension. It is also segregated in, it is also, the data will also be stored into the tabular format only, but the way of storing the data represents differently. If it is a dimension, then only product, if you take an example of a product customer or something, product dimension, we are going to store it in one product table. This is known as a demand_product, which is also a table, but that stores the characteristics of the data, product dimension. Fact is nothing but which consists of all the reference keys to this dimension, and also, it consists of the numerical values and the logic. Suppose we took an example of yesterday, sales or revenue obtained by selling, 10 TV products or 20 TV products and all that, the calculated values will be maintained in the fact. So if there are fact table will not grow quickly, however, dimension tables grow quickly. The reason could be every time the new products would come and add, right? So whenever the sales happen, the fact will there. So it will only, so that, the amount of space that it gets occupied will be less. Okay. That is data model. Now let's talk about the normalization. What is normalization? So one of the key characteristics of database is what? Less redundancy. What do we mean by redundancy? Having a repeated data.
Repeated data, yeah.
So having the repeated data is known as a repeated or redundant data. So that is known as a redundancy. So to eliminate the data redundancy, because when we have huge amount of data, if you are storing the redundant data, obviously the memory will be occupied much, right? So we wanted to store the data in order to reduce this, memory occupation, or it is going to hit the performance also ideally. Because if I want to fetch one record, there is, lot of redundant data. When a database engine is going to search, it has to go through each and every record, and it takes to fetch, right? The matched record and all that stuff. So one is space constraint, and another is the performance. Okay. So in order to eliminate or avoid, we cannot remember, we cannot avoid completely redundant data, but we can reduce the data redundancy. So in order to avoid data redundancy, came out with the concept known as normalization. So if someone asks what is normalization, all right. So normalization is a process or technique to avoid data redundancy,
Avoid
to
data
avoid the
redundancy.
duplicate.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So
Normalization,
in DBMS, they use normalization, right? Okay.
normalization, DBMS, RDBMS,
To
there are
reduce
varieties.
the redundancy.
Even in data warehouse also, like we use the term frequently, normalization. Normalization with
Okay.
respect to your core database management, data lake or data warehouse, anything, we do call it as a normalization. Okay.
Okay, it is.
If there are
The
normalization,
purpose of it is to reduce the data redundancy
exactly,
in the
exactly.
tables, in
Yeah, to
DBMS.
reduce the
Okay.
data redundancy to the extent. But mostly data warehousing will store denormalized data. We'll come to that also. Why is it so and all? Okay. So in DBMS, predominantly they do use normalization technique. Okay. The technique or process. This is not
Process.
something like, it is, they will decide that, okay, these tables should store this data and the key column, this should be the common column between these two tables so that, the other data, something like, as I mentioned, like, you cannot store the entire student information into one table. Maybe we'll split it as, student and courses into one table. We'll split student as one table and course as one table. Okay, student table should contain only student information. Course table will contain course information. I mean, we'll take an example of course enrollment only. Okay. So
Okay.
normalization is something like, this is a technique or process. We cannot completely eliminate, but avoid data redundancy.
Okay.
Okay. This is a technique. So let's go with, normal forms. We have different normal forms until 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, even voice code normal form. So, okay, 5NF is also there, but mostly like, people do go until 3NF only in real time or max to max second 2NF. Even 3NF is also rare unless they're so good at, clustering and all that stuff, people will not go. And so it's mostly like only second normal form only. There is a voice code normal form also, but I didn't remember exactly, which I studied almost 20 years ago in DBMS, but we never used it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll be discussing on the normalization until 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. So what is first normal form? So first of all, there is a data that is available, bits and pieces, like, in Notepad, the student information itself is available. Okay, say an example, the student information itself is available.
Okay.
So the student in Notepad, the student information itself is available. Okay, saying that, earlier days, like people used to write the reports, right? They were writing, okay, Neha enrolled for Java programming. So it's a training institute. It's a simpler training institute. They are maintaining this. Okay. Kavita enrolled for Selenium testing. Okay. Kaushik for enrolled for AWS testing. Okay. And someone blah, blah, blah. So all this information is available in bits and pieces in notes and all, right? So first normal form, what it will do, first of all, it will put all the information in tabular format. Simply, if there is no normalization, nothing, as in how it looks, the information, it is simply going to place it in a tabular format. Okay. So it's something like, okay, I will give some headings. Instead of writing enrolled and all that stuff, what I'm going to do, I'll just give some heading, a table saying that student name, from student number, serial number, which should be serial number, student name, course enrolled for. Okay. And I have in a training institute, we do offer like, the programming languages as well as testing languages and databases also. The type of the course also. Okay. Java programming. I just clearly mentioned Java programming. This is a Selenium testing. Okay. And says also
Mm-hmm.
Apna enrolled for database administration.
Okay.
So these are all the different courses, right? So meaning if I look at the data as an architect, you need to decide, okay, how many columns should come, what type of attributes I can assign it to this. Okay. Say that, okay, there is a student name which is common in all these things. I will give the column name as student name and the serial number, like, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, the student number, or if I wanted to assign some unique identifier also, I can assign the student number. And another is like, the courses that we are offering, course enrolled for. Okay. The course enrolled for is one thing. And type of the course also you can just mention. Okay. You are simply putting all these things in a table, like, in records and what we call in records, in the columns and rows in format of columns and rows. Why do we put columns and rows? I think we already discussed. Is it easy to fetch the data from the Word or the Notepad document when you want to search, or it is very easy to fetch it from the Excel? It's a more readable format, right? You can use the query language. Okay, I didn't remember, Sneha is enrolled for which course, right? I didn't remember exactly. Instead of, I'm seeing here only 10, but you have, thousands of records. Every page I need to turn and I need to search for Sneha. Okay. Sneha or Neha, like, where exactly it is. Instead of that, if I simply query saying that, okay, select star from student table where student name equal to Neha. And if I get all the details, is it more time effective? I mean, is it more user friendly, or going through all the logs and records is more user friendly, right?
Logs and records also we go through, is it?
Sorry?
Generally, we go through all the logs and records, or I
Time
mean, I didn't get
consuming.
what the point you said last.
Yeah, we will have to go through each and every page and we will have to find it manually. But here, if I'm just simply giving a query saying that, okay, get all the details of Neha, then I get, okay, Neha is enrolled for this course also. Okay, going
Okay.
through all the, manual books and all logs and all will be time taking, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Say she has. So how do I put it now? Say I have, this is Java. Java is a kind of programming language at once we are offering. Okay. And say this is 192, Varita, Selenium. This is automation testing. Automation testing, the type of the process. I'm just dividing it into, tabular format. I'm storing the data simply in tabular format. Remember here, I'm not avoiding any redundancy. What do we mean by redundancy? We'll just say. Okay, again, there is a chance that Kavita will enroll for, I'm doing two types of courses over here. Java,
Same numbers and two student names.
this program,
Java.
right?
Okay.
The same serial number. It could be same serial number because I'm not imposing any constraints and all that stuff. It is a plain vanilla format that, I'm storing simply in a table. Okay. There is no
Okay.
constraint, nothing, no unique identifier, whatever it is. It is, however, it is different in one of the courses. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
And I can even enroll for the same. Sorry, not same. It is, sorry, not. not two, right? 1 or 2. I can even enroll for, C# or something. And that is also programming language. Okay.
Okay.
Similarly, Neha can enroll for testing also.
Mhm.
Selenium or anything Python. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever we are putting it, right, in a simple table format, instead of AR notepad, blah, blah, we do call it as a first normal form. We are not optimizing the data over here. Okay. We are not doing any optimization, any normalization and all the technique and all. We are not avoiding any duplicate data, but we are simply logging it in something. Duplicacy maybe at the row level, they will check, but now we are not checking any duplicate data. Okay, that is first.
Yeah.
Say, if an institute, attributes in a tuple should have atomic values. Attributes in a tuple should have atomic values. What do I mean by that? This is the theory. Okay, as I told, individual attributes are not unique here. If you take any of the individual attributes, meaning columns, they're not unique here, right?
Okay.
Getting my point? Or is it
I
tricky?
didn't get it.
Sounds to be tricky, but I'll just explain. Okay? Take your time.
Tuples means attributes, right?
Sorry?
Tuples means attribute, right?
Tuples were attributes were there.
Oh, okay.
Tuple
So
is, I told you, right? It is a row. Record.
row. Okay. Yeah. It is a row.
Record
Okay.
is a tuple. We do call it a tuple as a record, right? We will not use much, but records and I use just someone for it. Attributes we will be using.
Yeah.
That was the classic
Attributes of
definition of an
columns.
attribute is nothing but a column. Field,
Yeah.
column.
Yeah.
Field is the one which we use interchangeably. Okay.
Yeah. I got it now.
And
Yeah.
record or row.
Yeah. Okay.
One particular
Row is called
in any
tuples.
table consists of a record. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So attributes. So what is this definition? Attributes in a tuple should have unique atomic values. Attributes in a tuple should have unique atomic values. Meaning, you are considering.
Okay, if I take one row. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Tell me, sorry.
No, go ahead. I mean, if you are considering it as an individual attribute, it is redundant. It is not unique, right? 101 is repeated.
Yeah, it is not unique.
101. And if you are seeing over here also, it is getting repeated. And here also it is getting repeated. Again, Java is there, Selenium is there and all. This is also getting repeated. But if you look at the entire row level, okay, a record level, this is not getting repeated. Meaning 101 got repeated, but however, it is different in the technique of force and root, right?
Yeah.
But this is why. So here, again, Kavita is there, Selenium is there, automation testing, and then programming. It is repeated in one of the other attributes. So we are simply making a tabular format, and we are ensuring that the row level uniqueness is maintained, or record level uniqueness is maintained, not at the each independent column level, right?
Okay.
Clear idea on this?
Yeah. Column level, it is not same. Row level, it might be repeating.
Sorry, what is that? 1 second. One second.
Yeah.
Sorry, my maid came and then she put a full thing on fan. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So what did you say? Sorry.
Column wise, it is not same, but row wise they are repeating.
Right.
That's what you
Column
mean.
wise, it is not unique, but at the entire record level, if you consider, it is unique, meaning it is different in one or the other values. So this is very important, Andy, because in our data warehouse testing, typically, we will go with first normal form only. I'll tell you why this normalization is mostly used or widely used only in transactional databases, right?
Okay.
Databases only we will be using. But if you are considering like, OLAP databases, we will not be using that. Okay. The reason could be
Oh.
the huge amount of data and frequently growing data and all that stuff. Okay. We will be having LTP also in data warehouse systems. There are certain transactional database. There is a master database. Master database, we will not be using mostly this normalization. We wanted to, ensure that, and that data is getting stored.
Okay.
Okay. Is this clear, and So first normal form is this. Attributes in a tuple should have unique atomic values. Okay, what is second normal form? So now, I'm just splitting this table into two tables because the student names are getting repeated. They are enrolled for 10 courses and then 10 courses, if I have to store it manually, like, Neha, again Neha, every time I need to enter, okay? And the data space is getting occupied. Your numbers will occupy less amount of space. We'll discuss that also when we comes to data types and all. Numbers will occupy less amount of space compared to your text, right? Every time I'll have to repeat saying that Neha has, what we call Neha has enrolled for
these many
something.
courses. Yeah.
Okay. PySpark or C#. Okay, every time I need to say. Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of doing this, what the architect has decided based on the nature of the data and all. Okay. Why do I need to go with every time? Why do I need to go with every time updating this entire table? That is going to be burden. And also if I will have to search from this one, I don't have a unique combination. I'll have to search. I cannot simply do a S name, whether Neha registered this and all, every details I'm getting. So we can split this into two tables, basically, just establishing the relationship between these two tables.
Okay.
So there will be a common key. So I'll split this into two tables only, that is using the primary key and foreign key relationship. Okay. This is also, we do call it as a referential relationship. This is known as a referential relationship also. Okay, this I'm just doing it as a student. I'm splitting this particular table into two tables, the same table into. One is a student table and another is the course table. In student table, what we can contain? Student number, name, student name. That's it. Okay. And here, maybe like date of joining, I can add one more field also, date of join, which is not here also. I can just add it under a student table, right? And a course, anything in the course saying that. The course ID, course name. Course ID, course name. That's it.
Course name.
What are the courses that you are offering? So because what would happen here, you are offering even a, okay, you are offering, like, as I said, database administration or some AWS, but no student is enrolled for. Okay. That also you will have to maintain in the same table, right? If it is first normal form.
Yeah.
There is no also, so there are a lot of blanks and all, so many of data inconsistencies will be there, right?
Okay,
So
okay, okay,
it's
okay.
like, these are all the offered courses. I don't have to repeat the data. Like, there is a course ID. I'm giving it as a 1. What is the course name? Java. Okay. And there is a course ID 2, which is Selenium.
Mm-hmm.
Course ID 3, C Sharp. Course ID 4, Python. Okay. 5 is data warehouse. 6 is AWS. Okay. Something like that. As and when I introduce any new course, right, I will update only this particular table. I don't have to update in this entire table without having any students enrolled for. So if any student comes and asks for the counseling and all, what are all the offered courses, you can just directly query this table and you can get it. Now, you have a student number, student name, and then, okay, date of joining. What is the common, how do I establish relationship between these two tables? Which student is enrolled for what? Using a common key known as course ID.
CID.
Okay, you get it my point, Andy.
Yeah.
This is how we do
But
establish relationship.
బట్ ఇఫ్ ఒకటే స్టూడెంట్ లైక్ ఒకటే స్టూడెంట్ నెంబరు డిఫరెంట్ కోర్స్ ఐడీస్ లో ఉంటే అన్ని కలిపి ఒకటే చోట స్టోర్ అవుతాయా లైక్ ఒకటే కాలమ్ లో స్టోర్ చేస్తారా?
Different. I mean, that is again up to you. That will be subjective, but it will not be stored in the course ID is a unique field కింద తీసుకుంటే కనుక multiple things ఇస్తే it can be repeated, but the problem is okay. మీరు అనేది ఏంటంటే స్టూడెంట్ నేమ్ నేహా enrolled for Java, right? So 1, 2, 3, something like that. Is
Yeah,
it?
like this. Yeah.
That again depends on the data type that you are storing. If you are storing it as a, only numeric value, right? It stores 1. Okay.
Okay.
Or giving it as a varchar and you are maintaining 1, 2, 3, that will be there. But that is a different. Okay. So here also, what it will do, the number of rows make a difference ఉండదు ఇక్కడ. If you are storing like this, the number of rows, it will not be different. Like, Neha will always be there. But what it will do, like, the amount of space is going to be reduced because I'm storing it in the numeric format. You don't have to type, right? So
Okay.
will
Sort of
occupy more space.
programming or Selenium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this will be there. So this
ఒక
is why
స్టూడెంట్
I
నేమ్
tell you, like, this is why this particular what we call second normal form will not remove the dependency entirely. A holds, then there should not be any proper subset of y of x for which y to a also holds true. I'll let you know what is
course,
this.
then there should not be any proper
Little confusing, right? So course ID, course name we are saying. X to a holds, then there should not be any proper subset of y of x. Meaning 101 Neha, okay, x to a holds. So Neha is having a course ID of Java, right?
Mhm.
And Neha is, there is no proper subset, meaning again, there is no student number and student name. Okay, only proper subset in the sense like there is no. So there is no, again, any subset like only student number exists or student name exists or Java. There is only Java that is there. Okay, or there is Selenium. So something like that, we are not actually getting it. So if you want to store everything also as subsets also in the big numbers or student number and all name, we can do that also. If it's a
Okay.
mathematical definition, you can just ignore. Let's see what is normalization. _1_2. There will be candidate keys or common keys, which is nothing but course ID in this case.
Mhm.
how would I say, the sets and subsets we need to do now. X to A holds, then there is no proper subset of y of x for which y to A also holds true. Meaning it is vice versa. So as I told, like, 101 has registered, Neha registered for Java. It is always not necessary that Neha should register for Selenium also, right? Here she has registered, but it is always not registered. I mean, not needed that Neha also should register for this. Okay.
Yeah.
To A, X to A, meaning, okay, there are another field also, say. I think that's a bad example that let me take. Okay, there is another field also, address, say. Student address also I'm storing here.
Okay.
Okay, in third normal form, in what it says, this is particular value is dependent on this student number. So Neha resides in Hyderabad.
Okay.
So I think that goes to normal form itself. Neha resides in Hyderabad, right? Zip code is also there. Zip is there, right? Neha resides in Hyderabad and she resides in zip code is say something like 5,90,000 or something. And there is one more person who resides in Bangalore. It is not Neha. When you are every time you are saying that 5,90,000. I don't know the zip code. I'm just saying 134.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So 1 or 2 and all. So these values are there every time in the course ID. I'm offering it in Hyderabad only, the course table, right? If I'm offering the table into course, dependency, I'm offering here. For every of these things, that is the same value. Okay, it is, whereas students do live in different locations, right? So I do not have any problem. Or even like, my training institute is there located in 2 different cities, say that, one is in Hyderabad and another is in Bangalore, but the country is same. Okay. Something like this. So what I mean, Neha lives in Hyderabad, not necessary that this institute also, there in Hyderabad, or you live in Australia, Kaushik live in Australia, not necessarily the institute is dependent. So X to A holds. So my here X is like student name. Okay, X is equal to student name. Then example. X to A holds good. Okay, student name to A is city.
Okay.
Okay, X to A holds. Then should not be any proper set of y of x for which y to A also holds good, meaning there is no transitive dependency over here. There is no dependency on these fields, right? So there is no proper subset of y of x, meaning y is another value, which is a subset of x also, like, course. Take an example of y is course. Okay. So the course is not subset of this X. It is not necessary that, Neha has registered for Selenium, which is offering in the city of Bangalore. So y of X, in the sense, course registered for the student. Okay.